So today I'm gonna try. I have to work on my goblin. So my goblin doesn't path right. It doesn't make the right decisions. So like when it's trying to like figure out what to attack or if it could reach somewhere, it needs to understand like the right ways to go. So that's what we're gonna do today for this little dev vlog, and we're gonna see where we're at. Okay, so let's say that you have this is really ugly looking. So you have a bunch of little goblins here. I don't know how to draw goblins. Let's just go. Let's just do like 3 of them. Okay. Those are goblins. You can see with their little ears. That guy has ears. And they're all trying to go this way, right? They're all trying to go this way, and then you have like a wall here, and each one of these walls has a room to do, and then around the wall also is this way. So we have to figure out how to make these guys. Oh, all right. Well, okay, fine. There's some walls and there's no real objective here. So let's say blue. We'll make it. No, blue looks like water. We don't want water. We're gonna do orange. We're gonna say so. Here's like a house. Here's another house, and then you're gonna have the main target, which is the settler's refuge right here. Okay, so they could go here and up and around, and this kind of makes it like a little tower defense game, which I don't really I want them to make better decisions than that, because then you could kind of do this thing where you build walls and they go around the wall, down the wall, around the wall. And it turns into a tower defense game. So I want them to like say, ooh, this path is too far. Or there might not even be a path at all. There could be, there might be like this, this might be your whole thing. And then there could be like towers here that shoot them with arrows. Pew pew. Okay, so what we got to figure out as they're as a goblin, as one of these little goblins moves through here. We're gonna get rid of this back wall too, just because it's better artistry. As it goes through here, it needs to figure out, is it better to go up here, or is it better to attack this wall? Let's just say attack. So that's what we're gonna do. That's the next thing we're gonna figure out. Okay, so let's go see what they do right now. I'm gonna have 1, and I'm gonna make him stronger. Hold on, I'm gonna make him stronger so he kills stuff faster. It's not so stupid. So we find our goblin. It's max health 50. We give 500 health. All right, here we are. We're in our game now. So let's see. So we have our goblin right here. These will all turn into walls. Then you have your other targets over here. You have your wood towers that are going to shoot them. Then you have your houses, and let's see what he does. So we're going to turn it on. We're going to start this little test scene I have here and see what happens. He's going to move. Yep. Got some errors, but who cares? He's going to walk over here, and he's going to start going up and around. Okay. So that's not what we want. This is way too long. He said that he made the decision to go around like that. Okay, so let's change that. All right, dude, you got this guy. I'm gonna click the numpad. Oh, I don't need this anymore. It's breakpoint. He's gonna find the best target to attack. It's gonna be this wall. That was destroyed. So he's moving on to the next wall. Okay, so I haven't ran that routine again, so he hasn't like figured out where to go. But he's gonna keep attacking walls until I tell it to find the best target again. And this list will change. I'm gonna do it right now. And he said, oh, this wall or this wood tower takes priority over killing these things. So I'm gonna run over here, attack this wood tower. Bam, it's gone. And he's gonna move to the next one. Bam. And then he's gonna say, oh, this house is next. And then sometimes gone by, and I'm running some coroutine, I hit it again. He's gonna find a new house to attack. And there's something going on with the houses. I don't know why they're doing that, but that's good. Okay. Okay. So now we're at the point where goblins are too strong, but they're like one goblin is choosing his targets appropriately, right? It's saying, I have all these targets within 10 range. I have some of them. I have to generate paths to each of them. So when I generate paths to each of them, some of them are just too far. We don't want to go to those paths. We don't want to go to those targets. So let's just find the targets that aren't as high priority, but we can get to them. Okay. So now that happened. Okay. now the goblin, I set it up in a coroutine, so it should find targets on its own every 3 to 5 seconds. And let's see what happens when we just run this bad boy. We're gonna try with just one right now. He's still super strong, right? He still has lots of health and does lots of damage, but he's just going. Look at him. Oh, look at that. He's still finding new targets every, 2 to 3 seconds. Yep. He gets in there immediately. Okay, so this is cool. Look, he's figuring it out on his own. Yep, look at him go. Oh man, look at that. All right, so the pathing's a little weird. I think that's just because the houses aren't set up perfectly on the squares, which that's fine. Okay, so now we have, this is cool, right? We have this goblin, too strong. He's way too strong. But the idea is now that we're gonna take, you want however many goblins there are. So we have one right now, and we're gonna make more. We're gonna bring more right now. Where you at? Where are the rest of them? Oh, I could have swore I had more earlier. I did have more earlier, but they were... Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to make more. 8. 16. Kind of want to have a crap ton. But now we have all these goblins, right? And these goblins are going to attack the wall. There is some logic that I need to do to figure out, like, if I'm attacking a wall, should I stop attacking the wall? And before they would get their list of targets and attack those targets and not look for new opportunities, right? Because like if all 32 of them are attacking the walls and one of them breaks a wall, then you will then all figure out new targets and say, oh crap, there's a hole in the wall. Let's stop attacking the wall because that's not a high priority target and go in there. So that's what I'm hoping happens with this. So let's see what happens. Let's rock. Come on, goblins. Hands off. They're just doing it. Oh, yeah. Oh, they're really strong. Oh, crap. Okay, they're too strong. Now that that's done, and they can die, we're going to send them in. And they're going to, like, swarm. And this is what I've wanted. And I haven't checked, like, the FPS. I'm going to do that right now. Am I? Yeah, I'm going to do it and see what happens. FPS isn't great. But I think that's from other things. But anyways, let's watch them. So they're going in here. They're all attacking. Okay. Well, those walls are pretty strong. They're supposed to be strong. These are supposed to be weak. These are supposed to be the weakest enemies in the game, and they're kind of, look at that. Okay, so when this, wow, I might have to try this again because is this guy gonna change targets? Yep, he does. He eventually he's still attacking. He attacked again, but he did change targets. So this is kind of what we wanted. He was kind of stupid for a second. Now they're like, oh crap, let's get this. That thing went down. They're attacking that tower now. And they broke through the wall. That's what we wanted. That's cool. Okay. I'm going to show you guys some of the code just so you guys can see what I did. I mean, there's a lot in here, but you don't need to know that much. Basically, you have a find target routine, and all that does is it finds nearby enemies. So I have a game controller object that is responsible for efficiently getting nearby entities. Does that pretty well. And it takes a range of 10. So 10. Then you take all of my potential targets are going to be those nearby entities where they're not an enemy. So right, you don't want to attack goblins that are, because they're goblins. I don't want goblins attacking each other. And then order them by descending. So they're how, like I have a list here of, I'll go to this, of priorities, right? So wood towers first, and then you kind of get to the production and housing things, and then there's the settlers refuge here, and then crops and whatnot. That all you choose. Those are the priorities that I've decided. I might tweak those later, but right now that's where they are. And then by distance, right? So if you have 2 wood towers at the top of the list, so you can get to both of them, you need to order them by distance. So you want to attack the closer one, right? And then we just have this object that I put them into that I can use later to store the generated path and then the distance of that path. And then I wait. So while it's finding all those paths, we're waiting in this coroutine before we eventually update the potential targets again. And then you just I'm going to filter out the ones that are too far to path to, right? So I have like this too far to path to range, which is a lot of 2s. and where the path isn't errored. So if the path errored out, we don't want to try and find a path to something that doesn't exist. And then you do the type priority, and then by distance along path again, same kind of idea. This distance here, and then you find the current target is going to be the potential target's first or default, and then you wait between 3 and 5 seconds before you do that again. And the reason I do a random time is so that if I wait, I don't want I don't want to have 100 goblins and then every 3 seconds I have to calculate all of those things. I want them to kind of be staggered, so that way FPS stays high. All right, so I made this video. I don't. These are always like I don't know if I want to make them. You know what I mean? Because they take time away from me actually working on the game because I'm going to spend time editing this and I'm talking out loud, which kind of helps a little bit. But if this is something that you want me to do again, if this is even a remote, you're here at the end, you probably liked it a little bit, right? Just do that stuff. You subscribe. That lets me know that I should keep doing it. And yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for watching. I'll try to do another one.